Now that the bye week shenanigans are complete, it's time to move along to the following week, week 9, where we should be facing off against yet another CPU opponent before we have to get closer and closer till we start locking in against some of these other user opponents. And yeah, there we go right there. We're on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders. Ironically, the team that we used last Madden to do a rebuild with. So we got ourselves a scenario. So let's go ahead and check out this scenario for this week. Let's see. Hey, Anthony, thanks for stopping by. You've had a great season so far. Thanks, coach. But all I really care about is helping out the team and doing what's needed. Of course, of course. Okay, let's talk about the second half of the season. What are your goals for the rest of the season? Well, coach, you tell me. Let's see. I don't know. You the one that play. What part of my game are we going to be focusing on? So focus on passing yards, passing touchdowns, total touch. Oh, this is easy. We're going to probably roll with yards. Even though touchdowns is kind of easy too. And total touchdowns because we do rush for a lot. Let me see. Let's go with passing yards. Okay, if we focus on airing it out, how many yards do you think you'll end up with at the end of the year? I think 4,000 yards is good enough. Oh, say less. Say less. I'm ready to work with everyone to make this happen and ensure we succeed together. Let's go. That's going to be a difficult goal. Okay, we'll see about that. Let's do our best to reach those numbers. We'll definitely reach 4,000. 4,000 is easy. If anything, we could probably get somewhere close to 5,600 or 6,000. So let's see. Let's take a peek at this loadout because you know what? We hardly touch or adjust the loadout. So before we jump into the training for the week, let's see what we have as far as the loadout is concerned. So let's see. We have passing paranoia, behind the chains, load the box. Y'all got to forgive me. I'm kind of reading this in my head instead of reading it out loud right now. All right. So, I mean, we have some decent ones, but let's see what else they have here. So, cool under pressure, trimmed edges, field general. So, field general. Got +4 throw on the run. Blitz, interior dominate. What else they have? Oh, I forgot I had these down here too. So after school tutor, we definitely could use all of this. Practitioner, QB. Okay, so we need to boost. We need to boost and increase this because, yeah. So we got offensive line. So as good as this other stuff sounds, we do need to develop. We do need to focus on developing offensive line, quarterbacks, defensive line, things of that nature. Stuff that are a little bit more difficult to develop in game. Even though offensive line could be a little bit better as far as development versus defensive line, but it's not as good as what you can do as far as developing the quarterback, developing receivers, developing a running back. So we do want to focus on making sure we have at least the maximum for that ability at each one of those. So when we do go to swap those abilities out, we can swap them out and we can get the maximum out of that specific skill group. So let's see right now. Let's see, cool under pressure. I think I might like this cool under pressure. Outside the club. See, practition for wide receiver, tight end. Although let's see. I don't think we really need the practition for the wide receiver, tight end, because even though tight end, we don't give them the ball too much. Wide receiver, we get the wide receivers the ball whenever we want to, really. So, bookend busters. Passing yards. Why I say passing yards? Passing paranoia, which is one of the ones that we already had, I think. I keep going back to this wide receiver, tight end. I'm just going to roll with the wide receiver, tight end. Just to get a little extra from the wide receiver group. Give them that little boost. So I think we might be good there. As far as the trainer loadout is concerned, we have off-field rejuvenation. We don't really have anybody hurt right now. And the way we set up our weekly training, we don't never really have anybody in a position to where we'd have to use off-field rejuvenation. Healing accelerator, that's the same thing. So I think we're good off of that. We probably can go ahead and jump straight into the training with that. So we got half pads for everything. We're still set up there. So let's go ahead and knock out the training for the week. Pocket protector with Daniel Falele. Yeah, let's get it done. Like I said, we had the ability for the practitioner on the offensive line, but you want to get as much out of the offensive line as possible. So if that means that we have to use that ability and get our weekly training, then we're going to do that. And especially with this being year one, like I said, year one is normally my focus to develop my quarterback, develop my wide receivers, skill positions, things of that nature, even though we're not really focusing a ton on developing a running back. But we have been doing a damn good job at developing Bashal Tootin. So I'll give us that. But it's been more focused on developing AR5 and the wide receivers. So if I'm not focusing on a running back, I'm not focusing on offensive line. So that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to use practitioner for the offensive lineman, because if I'm not focusing on those guys right now during year one, then I definitely want to have something to build them up and we got gold again, as always, but I definitely want to have something to kind of build upon that skill group or that position group while we focus on the skill groups like the wide receivers and the quarterbacks and so on and so forth. Because running back and offensive line is hand in hand. And therein again, here we go developing more of our offensive line, because even though year two is going to be strictly focusing on offensive line, I still want to try to build the offensive line somewhat in year one. So we're about halfway through the season on year one, and the development as far as for the quarterbacks and receivers have been really well. So we've been doing good there. Offensive line is non-existent. I'll put it to you like that. It's non-existent. So we gotta do as much as we can on the back end until year two. Year two is gonna be great, because year two we're gonna pound the rock. We're gonna run up the numbers. We're gonna make sure we run through the gaps, run to the edges, get the pancake numbers up with the offensive line, and develop them as best as we can. So, and here we are. We got gold again. We got 5 seconds left. And we about to run these numbers up. And we got one more position. One more position group. So we got, why I say position group? We got one more player that we want to go ahead and get that training knocked out of the way with. And that's Isaiah Bond. So, and he's been having a hell of a year too, right there. That's why, like I said, oh man, why did I do that? Damn it. I done went and simulated and advanced and didn't even knock out my training with Isaiah Bond. It's all good. If there was anybody we could afford to forget the training for, it's Isaiah Bond. So that's going to do it for this week, because we're already at 9 minutes right here. So it doesn't make any sense trying to get into game action. We'll get into game action on the next episode of this Jaguars rebuild. Until then, if you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more of this Jaguars rebuild, as well as other Madden 26 content. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time.